Revenge films.
A few years into our marriage, I got pregnant, and I told my husband that I couldn't make love to him during my pregnancy. As a result, he found himself a lover and used all our savings on her. I found out about his affair when I saw that all of our savings were gone. I was devastated because the only reason that I couldn't please my husband was because I was pregnant with our child. I couldn't believe that he had used all of our savings for his lover, when we could have used the money for our first child. I know that my pregnancy didn't prohibit me from making love to my husband, but I wanted to be extra careful. The reason why I wanted to be so careful was because I had a miscarriage in the past, and I didn't want to do anything to risk my current pregnancy. When I got pregnant for the first time, I was elated, but for my husband, things were different. The pregnancy didn't change him at all, and he wanted to make love to me every night in the same way that he had been doing before I was pregnant. When I told him that we shouldn't sleep with each other until my pregnancy reached the stable period, he was upset with me and forced me to sleep with him. In his eyes, it was okay for him to make me sleep with him against my will because we were married. After he was done, my stomach started to hurt, and I had a miscarriage as a result. During the act, I asked him to stop many times, but he kept going. I can't say that it was the fact that we slept together that caused my miscarriage, because I know the miscarriages happen for various reasons. But now that I was pregnant for the second time, I didn't want to risk losing the baby, so I didn't allow him to sleep with me no matter what. Because of this, I was now in the stable period of my pregnancy. I was very happy, until I happened to check our bank account and see that it was empty. I asked my husband what he had done with our money. All our savings are gone. Also, are you having an affair?
You had no right to be angry with me. You wouldn't sleep with me, so I had to go find pleasure elsewhere. I'm your husband. You should attend to my needs too. You had no right to say no to me like you did.
Don't you remember what happened the last time that I was pregnant? We wouldn't stop and I had a miscarriage because of my stomach ache.
I never asked for a baby. You're the one that wanted to have a baby.
I was at a loss at what to say, and really disappointed in my husband for acting so selfish. How could he be so cruel to me? In the past, when we were dating, I asked him to use contraception and he wouldn't. That doesn't make it okay for you to have an affair.
Well, I used up all our savings from the stress of you rejecting me. So I don't see why we should stay married. I want a divorce.
Why'd you make it sound like it was my fault? I saved up that money for our baby. I can't believe that you used it to have an affair. I expect you to pay me back.
Why should I? I didn't ask you to get pregnant and spend money on children. This is your fault. I hope that you have another miscarriage.
My husband then shoved me, and I hit my back on the dining table. I crouched down in pain.
If you lose the baby now, you won't be able to blame me for anything. If you don't have a baby, you won't be so desperate for money.
My husband then left the house. My stomach is hurting again. I called an ambulance and fainted while waiting for it to arrive. The next time I woke up, I was on a hospital bed. What happened to my baby? I was scared of losing my baby, because the same thing had happened to me before. The nurse in the room said to me, "Your baby is doing just fine. There's no need for you to worry." I'm so relieved. We tried to get in touch with your husband, but we couldn't reach him, so we had to call your parents. I didn't expect my husband to pick up the phone. After all, he was the one who injured me. Soon after, my parents arrived at the hospital. "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm okay. Thank you for coming." I was so worried when the hospital called us. I got in touch with your in-laws too because it seemed like an emergency. Oh, really? I wonder if they are coming here. My in-laws live far away, so I hadn't seen them much since I got married to their son. They're on their way now. They were very concerned because you had a miscarriage before. My in-laws arrived to the hospital the following day.
Sarah, how are you feeling?
I'm okay now, thank you.
I wonder why this keeps on happening to you. You seem a little pale. Do you have anemia?
My in-laws seemed very concerned for me. I wanted to tell them the truth, but I wasn't sure that it was the right thing to do. But I was sure that I didn't want to stay married to their son any longer. So I took the courage and told them about what he had done to me. My father-in-law was furious what he had learned, what his son had done.
This is unforgivable. He needs to be punished.
Sarah, we are so sorry that our son put you through this.
I didn't know how they would react, so when they were very sympathetic, I cried tears of relief. Yes, it was very tough, and I can't stay married to your son.
You're making the right decision. I'm so ashamed of my son. He does not deserve to be a father.
Sarah, all you need to worry about is having a healthy baby.
Yes, thank you. After my in-laws left the hospital, they had a long chat with their son. The next day, all three of them came to the hospital with divorce papers. I asked the nurse if I could use one of the private rooms to have a conversation with my husband. I didn't want to bother the other patients while we were fighting.
You need to agree to pay alimony to Sarah after everything that you put her through. Why would I do that? I didn't want the baby in the first place. She should have taken better care of me. If she had, I wouldn't have cheated on her.
Be quiet, you fool. Because of you, Sarah had a miscarriage, and you tried to do the same thing to her again. If you had any decency, you would have done everything you could to take care of your baby. You should be ashamed of yourself.
My mother-in-law slapped her son in the face, hard.
If you don't agree to pay the alimony, I'm going to make sure that our grandchildren get the inheritance, and not you. That's bullshit. I'm getting divorced, and neither she nor the unborn child is entitled to any inheritance. I don't consider you to be my son anymore. I intend to cut all ties with you. I see where this is going. Fine, then I won't get divorced then. I'll take care of the baby. Does that make everyone happy?
My husband was a jerk. He was never going to change. It seemed that my in-laws felt the same way.
Let's continue the rest of our lives without our son. Does that sound okay with you?
Yes, that's fine by me. I don't know who this asshole is. Sarah, if he doesn't agree to the divorce, you could go ahead with an uncontested divorce. We can assist with the fees for the divorce lawyer. That's the least we can do for you. My money!
My husband gave up and signed the divorce papers. He agreed to pay me alimony and money to cover for the hospital fees. My husband's parents cut ties with their son, and he no longer had anywhere to live. My ex-husband had borrowed money using my name, and we were still married. But it was proven that he was the one that borrowed the money and not me. I heard a rumor that he remained homeless and had to work hard to pay his debts and pay the money that he owed me. I gave birth to a healthy boy, and I was no longer in touch with my ex-husband, but would see his parents from time to time. I ended up back at my parents' house. Whenever I'd send photos of my baby to my in-laws, they would shower him with gifts. How loving! Although my baby doesn't have a father, I'm glad that he still has his grandparents.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.